George Carlin once said, "Never underestimate the power of stupid people in large groups." What is a good example of that? World War I. Everyone was ready to cheer on war, until it turned into a 4-year meat grinder. And 99% of other wars, with public support throughout history too. World War I is taught in schools as usually as a precursor and cause to World War II, which it was, but man, schools don't teach it enough. It's hard to really explain to people that World War I really broke the entire world order in a way that is unfathomable now. And it was all pretty much pointless. 3 imperial states fell. Eastern Europe and the Balkans was made into an unstable mess, and several of the conflicts that exist in the Middle East today can be traced back to World War I. World War I truly was the Great War, but not in the way that the participants thought it would be. Edit almost 24 hours later. I forgot to mention that the Ottoman Empire also fell, but my original intention had to underscore the fall of the 3 emperors of Europe, and instead I phrased it as empires instead. That's on me for being imprecise. Not to mention the new methods of killing invented. First use of tanks, long-range artillery, machine guns, submarines, battleship destroyers, flamethrowers, planes, poison gas. If humans didn't kill you, you may have developed shell shock and gone mad, or maybe a trench disease, or even the Spanish flu. Reddit and that Boston bomber fiasco. What was the fiasco? Reddit investigated and identified a person responsible for the bombing at the Boston Marathon. And by that, I mean the hive mind identified a missing person and harassed the shit out of his family. It turns out he had tragically killed himself and had nothing to do with the bombing. Reddit traumatized his family and put his name on the internet as a terrorist. For added salt in the wound, the FBI was forced to reveal the identities of the real suspects early, to stop the internet witch hunt, which resulted in a more difficult capture and the death of an officer. I lived in the Boston area and worked retail at the time. Wasn't at work, but the manager of a mall store. My ASM called me that day to say he was closing the store briefly to drive one of our regulars home because multiple people called mall security / the cops, thinking they'd found the Boston bomber. Dude looked just like him and came in our store freaking the fuck out because he kept getting stopped and followed all around the mall by good Samaritans accusing him of planting bomb. Everyone trying to leave a festival at the same time through the same one-car gate. I myself just pull a few folding chairs out of my trunk, sit back and people watch with my friends. At an arena I see concerts at, when it's over, the police open up one gate that if you turn left goes right to the interstate. Everyone uses that gate. Meanwhile, there's a gate they open up that you can turn right out of, I guess for locals that live in town. No one uses that gate. But what people don't realize is if you use that gate, you can go all the way around the arena and merge onto the interstate. The cops will actually stop the traffic coming out of the gate they opened and let cars coming from around the building through first. Makes getting on to the interstate super easy after a show. Here in Europe, we have thousands of large groups of hooligans. Each time that there's a football match, they devastate pubs, streets, and entire neighborhoods. They behave like animals and fight against other hooligans and the police, burning whatever they find on their way. I've never seen a real gun in my life except for the one time I was in Barcelona during a big game. Huge guards walked the streets with MP5s. As an American who grew up in a rural, conservative area, this statement is nuts. Informal car meets. No, your ability to drift the car isn't going to improve when you are high, drunk, being spectated by rowdy young men, and have an illegally modified car. These tools meet up every few weekends, in the late evenings, at a mall parking lot. You can hear them doing burnouts and donuts in the parking lot from a few miles away, and some of them end up racing in and around the suburbs. Over the past few months, 3 racers have died in separate race accidents, and 2 unrelated bystanders killed. Cops always show up too late. This is what kills me. I grew up racing cars. Love watching race cars. I still have cable because I enjoy race cars. This led me to a life of being the shade tree mechanic of the group. Auto racing around the world is dying, but especially in the United States of America because of urban sprawl. Tracks that are 15 to 20 miles away from the city center are being bought up and torn down because of real estate prices. Because the tracks aren't making money. Because people aren't going out to the races. Successful tracks can have towns built around them, and do. Indianapolis Motor Speedway is a prime example. And no type of track is safe. Road courses, dirt tracks, asphalt ovals, drag strips, kart tracks, all finding the same fate. And for what? These guys got into their barely legal dailies. They can absolutely afford a race car. If we could just get the type of people who would meet in a parking lot on a Saturday night to get into motorsports, we could avoid this. Flat earthers. What power? Maybe the power to ignore and convince others to ignore all scientific evidence pointing to a round earth going back thousands of years and really basic common sense? It's beyond just stupidity. It's practically the occult.
Thank you so much for watching until the end. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next videos. In the meantime, check out the other ones. They're already waiting for you. Share your thoughts on this topic in the comments and tell your own stories. Wishing you a great day, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.